Hey everybody, Tiffany Malott here. Excited to be once again on this webcast with you for another week. And I just got back from the Go Pro event, Network Marketing Pro event in Las Vegas. If you watched it, I hope you got a lot of great insight and information out of it. I know I did. It was definitely an honor to be there on that stage with all those amazing people. But, you know, best of all, it was really amazing just to be in the event, just to be sitting there absorbing it. And there were so many things to absorb. And sometimes you got to pay attention to all the lessons, not just the obvious ones, you know, the ones people are talking about from the stage, but all the lessons. And one of the lessons that I want to share with you guys is that you heard many times Eric and Marina Worre say that just 6 years ago, their first GoPro event was only 200 people. Then it went to 400 people. And now 6 years later, 5 years after it was 400 people, it was 8,000 people. And next year they have room for 15,000. So here is something that a lot of people aren't paying attention to. And I really want us to think about this right now is everybody is on their tip. Everyone is talking Eric and Marina Worre in the GoPro space and network marketing. There are people outside of network marketing talking about Eric and Marina. I mean, as we saw with Tony Robbins and Richard Branson and Robert Kiyosaki, all these people, but nobody was paying any attention to them 6 years ago. Nobody was standing in line for 2 hours to take a picture with him 6 years ago. Nobody was talking about what a great guru he was for the profession 6 years ago. In fact, nobody saw this coming 6 years ago except for him. And so I want you to learn from this. I want all of us to learn from this because everybody has to start somewhere. And everybody's stuff looks a little raggedy in the beginning. And this is incredibly important for all of us to remember because all we ever do, many of us, is we focus on the story after it's become a story. And we want to know, why aren't we like that person? And when is that going to happen for us? But here is a real life testimonial with someone who had 20 plus years of network marketing experience, had been to the top of more than one company, had made tens of millions of dollars, and still he had to start from the beginning. He had to go back to square one in his first event with tens of millions of dollars, 20 plus years of network marketing experience, and had been to the top of previous companies before. He still had to start from square one, and his first event was only 200. And now, because he had the vision and they worked it and they didn't worry about what it looked like then because they knew what they were working towards, it's now 8,000 people and the world is talking about him. And so what I want you guys to remember is that's just how success happens. Nobody knows a success is on its way until only the person who knows success is on its way is the person who's making the success happen. Nobody knows that you're about to hit Royale. Only you know it. Right now, it doesn't look like much. Right now, you just look like a star. Right now, you just look like a superstar. Right now, you just look like a person who was bronze and fell back to executive, and no one sees that silver, gold, and platinum and ruby and a six-figure ring is on its way, and they won't see it coming. Nobody runs to the person at the beginning of their race and says, "You've got it. I'm here all the way." Very few people do that. That's why you must encourage yourself. That's why you must encourage yourself and keep pushing, knowing that all the fair weather friends are going to show up later. I mean, a lot of these people were talking bad about Eric and Marina 6 years ago, laughing at them, even jeering them, and making it and not having anything positive to say. But now everyone has to recognize what they have done. And so that is maybe not one of the obvious lessons that I want you to learn from this, is that your story must be told, but no one will tell your story for you. Only you can tell your story and you have to stick it out to make sure that story is told. So this is extremely important for you to understand and take a real life example, one that is right in front of you. Take that example and make sure you use it all the time. because no one cheers people on their way up. No one cheers people on and throws a party and a parade and does videos about a person as they're struggling on their climb. They only show up after you make it to the top. So as long as you remember that, you'll know what Eric Worre knew, what we in secret know, what we all have seen before. We'll know what's to come, and we know those people will show up after it happens. So that's one of the lessons that I learned, is that everybody's got to start, no matter how great they are. If they're starting something new, they're new. They suck. They're not good. And so if you're brand new in secret, you suck. You're not good. Doesn't mean you're going to stay there, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it is imperative that you remember that. The next thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is, I don't know if you saw this, Eric Worre actually said this. He said, people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in a decade. He said they overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in a decade. And I think a lot of people miss this, but I'm going to make sure we don't. People overestimate what they can do in a year. And what does that mean? That means they're like, I'm going to make $1 million in the next 10 months. I'm going to get to 6 figures. Even though I've never made 6 figures in my life, I'm going to get to 6 figures super, super fast. And that is wrong. That is a problem, because they are only giving themselves a short amount of time. And I'll take it even a step further. A lot of brand new secret agents say they're going to make a lot of money in the first month or the first 2 to 3. And if they don't, this thing doesn't work, and they quit. So they overestimate what they can do in the first month to a year, but they underestimate what they can do in a decade, meaning they underestimate how amazing they will be, what type of leader they will be, what their organization will look like, what their income would look like, what their significance will look like if they stick it out. So you've got to stick around to actually get to the big story, because all of us, pretty much, we're not going to get that big story at the very beginning. So people are overestimating what they'll do in the beginning, and they'll give up because it just didn't happen fast enough. And then they underestimate what they could do if they stick it out. So I'm going to ask you guys to please stick it out. Stick it out. Make sure that you stay here a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, because all the dreams and visions you have in the first year, you're probably overestimating where you'll be. But if you stick past that first year, you'll underestimate how far you'll actually go. So that's another lesson. Another lesson that I think everyone should learn is the power of going through your notes. This is the GoPro workbook that we had this year. And a lot of people will take tons and tons and tons of notes, but won't ever pull them out. Won't ever go back through them and highlight and underline and choose those things that jump out at them and work to apply it. Now, as you can see, I've already chosen some things, and one of it is the fact that in the beginning they were at 200, and just 6 short years later they were at 8,000. At 7 years they're going to be at 15,000, and that's just the people in live attendance, not the tens of thousands of people that watched on live stream. So that just lets me know that in the beginning for everybody is small, just like it was for us in secret, and even where we are today in 4 years, because I was at the GoPro event in their 4th year. I think I was there in their 3rd year, and I think they had not even 2,000 people there. And I have spoken on his stage for 2012, 13, 14, 15. This will make my 4th year that I've gotten a chance to speak on his stage, and I've watched him go from under 2,000 to 8,000 in 4 years. So what this gets me excited about is where we are in secret. So as a company, our events have almost gotten to 5,000. But where will we be in the next year to 2 years to 3 years to 4 years? We will have that same type of exponential growth. Well, we will go from 3,000 to 4,000 to 12,000 in just a matter of couple of 2 to 3 years. And then I also get excited because I believe that's what's going to happen with our businesses. Wherever you are right now, you may be saying, man, I'm only making 500 a month. I'm making 1,000 a month. Or you may be saying, I wish I could make 500 to 1,000 a month. But remember, everybody starts off small. Yours may be just 200 a month where you are right now. Eric Worre was 200 people at his first event. But the truth is, if you stick it out, and you don't have to wait 4 years to get to 8,000 a month, but if it took you that long, if you went from 200 a month to 8,000 a month in 4 years, would you be happy with that? Because the truth is, guys, there are people who will work jobs for 10, 20, 30 years and they'll never get to 8,000 a month. They'll never get to a 6-figure income. They'll never have time freedom and financial freedom. They'll just keep getting little 1% increases every 3 to 5 years. So even if it did take you from 200 to 8,000 in dollars in the next 4, even if it took you 6 years, would it be worth it? It would be. But are you going to be the one that overestimates the first year and underestimates the 5 to 10 years? And I hope not. I hope you've planted your flag. I hope you're sticking and staying, and not just wearing a secret shirt or having secret banners in your house. I hope you are sticking and staying with the process that is going to take you to grow into who you want to be. I really do hope that you understand that this is a journey. And I'm going to talk about where I am. So it's funny, people are, you know, I had a nice little time on stage this past Saturday at the GoPro event. And I have people from all over the world inboxing me and texting me and stopping me and asking me how. And this is why what Eric Worre said resonates with me. And there are people like, well, have you trained under Les Brown? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, what speakers association are you part of? And, you know, how long have you been training, and who's your mentor for speaking? And, you know, it's funny, I don't have any of that. And they said, well, when did you learn how to do it? And the truth is, I said, I'm still learning how to do that. I'm still learning how to speak, because many of you know, I did that Is Your Butt Too Big talk earlier. I did that talk earlier this year. I did that talk at our spring convention. And the talk I did this Saturday was not the same talk that I did at the spring convention. I had to use notes at the spring convention, and it wasn't as clear and as crisp. It was all right, but it definitely wasn't the product that I put out on Saturday. And so I'm still learning to get better. I'm still modeling other people. I'm still working on myself as a presenter, trainer, or speaker. And the funny thing, though, is people are thinking that, you know, I went through somebody's 30-day course or a 12-week boot camp. And the truth is, and I had to tell some people, and they were a little disappointed, that I have been working on this literally for 14 years. 14 years. My first network marketing presentation in front of a group I did in October of 2000. No, 15 years. In October of 2000, I did my first network marketing presentation in front of about 30 people. So October of 2000, I did my first presentation in network marketing, and it is now October 2015. And people want to know, who did I learn under? Who did I take courses from? And what association have I been a part of? And how long was the training period? The training period has been 15 years. And that is exactly how I know and I understand what Eric Worre said when he said people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in a decade. Because in a year, in 2000, I thought I could be a great speaker. And really, I was okay at best. But the truth is, it's taken me this long, 10 years of not just being in network marketing, but 10 years of working on myself, 10 years of working diligently, presenting in kitchens, living rooms, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, big parties, little parties, and training on regionals with 32 people and speaking in front of whatever group I could. It's been 15 years of doing that to get where I was this Saturday, and I still have more work to do. And so I just want you guys to understand that anything that you do, you've got to put some time into it. And it's not going to be just 40 hours a week for the next 3 months. It is going to be, it's going to be time. It's going to be long time. You know, they say, I learned a long time ago, and this is what got me very, very serious about network marketing and sticking with it. Because I don't know if you guys don't probably know this about me, but before I joined network marketing, everything I did, I quit after 2 years. Everything, like since junior high. Whatever I joined, I did for 2 years. And then I had a problem with it or the leadership or something, and I quit. So band, I did it for 2 years. I did cheerleading for 2 years. I did gymnastics for 2 years. I did college newspaper for 2 years. High school, I was editor of high school newspaper yearbook, only 2 years. Air Force, I did 2 years, got accepted into a commissioning program, went back to school. My first time going to school, I only went 2 years, dropped out, went to the Air Force, got a scholarship, was there in the Air Force for 2 years, got a scholarship, went back to college and did that for 2 years. Like then my first job, 2 years, second job, 2 years, and I never got fired. I just quit. And I would always move on. And then I found network marketing. And guess what I wanted to do? I started in 2000. Guess what I wanted to do in 2002? I wanted to quit. But I had really great leadership that asked me, what are you going to do? Go back to making jelly? And that was not attractive. But then the other thing that I learned was, who are you going to become if you quit something every 2 years? How good do you really get in 2 years? Think about everything you've ever done. If you've been married for 2 years, do you really understand marriage and how to be a good spouse? And if you have a child, do you just, okay, 2 years, sweetie, done all I can for you. And so now we're going to move you to somebody else because I can only invest 2 years in everything that I do. I mean, even if you driving, I mean, you start driving at 16 and by 18, you think you got it all under control. You don't need to do it anymore. I mean, we learn, and 2 years is just the beginning. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is this is the first thing. Network marketing is the first thing I ever stuck with. And what helped me stick with it was something I read. And it basically said about becoming an expert in something. And they said, if you do something diligently for 1 year, you'll become an expert on that in your city. If you do it for 3 years, you'll become an expert in your state. If you do it for 5 years, you can become an expert in your nation. And if you do it for 10 years, you can become an expert in the world. Now, and I looked at it and I said, look, if I only spend 2 years in anything, I'm not even going to get statewide. And so that's where I stuck with it. And it's funny, I've been doing this for 15 years. I have more enjoyment, more passion, more experience, more knowledge, more ability, more skills, more wisdom, and more relationships in this because I stuck with it. And so I'm sharing this with you because no matter what it looks like, I want you to stick with it. Because on the other side of every obstacle is a great lesson, is more success, it's more fulfillment, it's more significance, and it's more wisdom so you can help somebody else. So I just want to share that with you. I really resonate with what he said. People overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in a decade. It's so absolutely true. They underestimate what they can do in 3 to 5 years. So stick and stay, we used to say, and you will get your pay. All right, so now I held up this book to talk about the next thing, and that is going through your notes. Look, all these notes, tons and tons of notes, and I'll tell you what I've been guilty of. Tons of notes all throughout this book. What I have been guilty of is taking notes, filling up a journal, filling up a book, taking notes, and then taking the book and putting it in the office. Putting it on the bookshelf. Next thing I know, I have no idea where that book is. Or I'll go back to the journal and then I'll start taking notes in a new spot, but never go through the notes that I took. And this is the biggest mistake you can make, because just because I wrote down notes and I listened that time, sure, I may have retrieved some information, but did I get it all? No, and you don't get it all until you apply it. You don't really master anything until you read it and reread it, apply it, read it, reread it, apply it, and learn from it. And so I'm going to ask you guys to go find your journal. If you're taking notes on this tonight, go back and read them tomorrow. If you took notes at Ignite, go back and get those notes, because there is something in there that you're now ready to receive that you weren't ready for when you took those notes initially. So go back to your old journals, go back to your old notes, go back and read this stuff so we can become the notes. Not just become good note takers, but become products of the information that we received. what I find a lot of people do with their notes is they will go and take notes and notes and notes. And if they do go back to them, it's just to post it on Facebook, just to put out a post on Instagram or Twitter, to be social media prophets and let everybody else know how smart we are, instead of just internalizing the information, becoming the information, so everybody can experience how wise you really are. So go back to your notes, please. Go back to your notes. So now I want to talk to you guys about what to do right now, because a lot of us have gotten a lot of information. People have been to a lot of events. I know a lot of you, I saw a lot of secret agents at the GoPro event. I know there were even more who watched the live stream. And we just came back from Ignite. So we've had some really great events. There are events going on in your local market. Excuse me, please. We've been to a lot of events through webinars and webcasts and vision casts. And if we're not careful, we can get so good at plugging in to events that we don't become effective after the events. So with any event, whether it's a training, a little boot camp in somebody's house, whether it's a vision cast or a webinar like this one, whether it's a regional training or a big event or a generic event, whatever you go to, whatever event you go to, and you go to this and you get to these events, make sure that when you come out of the event, people and you and others can see the difference in you after you leave. And so what you've got to do is become it. And you don't want to get so addicted to events that your whole life is just an event, is just from one event to the other. You got to make sure that after every event, there's proof that you went to the event in your business and in yourself. So now we're going to go back to our notes and we're going to study all this great stuff. Look, I've been to some amazing events over the past, oh my goodness, not even maybe 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. The best one was our Ignite convention, because that was home, that was ours, and we are playing on a big stage. And as I look at it, I am like, we are poised, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but I am just so proud of where we've come, and to see leadership step up and see people grow in and step into shoes that they once thought they couldn't fill, and they're doing such an amazing job. And I'm committed to helping that event become bigger and better, because there's no reason why our events can't be as big as all these other events happening in the world and the profession of network marketing. The second event I went to, I got a chance to go to the Unleashing the Power Within Tony Robbins event. Another amazing event. I mean, I've had a chance to see Tony Robbins in the past 2 to 3 weeks. Absolutely amazing. That was awesome. So I got this great information about getting me right and getting myself in a different place so I can go to the next level, because I do believe that we can become our greatest enemies. I do believe that the greatest obstacle in our path can be the obstacle of ourselves. And so I love that. And then I got a chance to go to GoPro. And so great information. So I know a lot of people have been to a lot of events, and it's almost like, okay, we're filled with all this stuff. What do we do? Well, let me tell you what we do now. Whether you only went to the secret event or Ignite conference, or you went to all the stuff I've been to, maybe you've been to something else. The truth is, after the events are over, and the events always end, it's time to pull back, go through our notes, set some goals, and make some decisions on who we're going to be and how we're going to prove to ourselves and everyone else that our investment of time, energy, and money, was well worth it. So this is extremely important. What do we do now? So I'm going to share with you guys what I feel everyone should do right now, whether you're in momentum, whether you are kind of stuck, because I've been in all these places. Look, I've been stuck. I mean, actually, I can be honest with you, I am still stuck, because we hit Crown Royale, I don't know, in 2013, 2014, some time ago, and we are not at Crown Royale. We are stuck. And that is why I have been working on me, because I can't push others to do something for me. I have never been, so I can inspire someone else to do the same. And then when we all rise up, meaning I have to start with myself, when we all come up, then that's when everyone can hit a new level. So what do you do when you're stuck? And I'm going to tell you what I just told myself. So I don't know if you've ever heard this, but people say when people are usually speaking or training, they're speaking to themselves. So this is for me, and I'm just going to let you in on it, okay? When you are stuck, you must start with you. You must start with you. So I said to myself, Tiffany, we've been here too long. Doesn't matter that the income is still great, but I am the lid. Like John C. Maxwell said, the first law of leadership is the law of the lid. And if I'm not moving up, if the Malotts aren't moving up, then it's going to be hard for somebody else to move up because we are the lid. So I'm going to ask you, just like I asked myself, are you a good lid? Have you been raising yourself, the lid? Or is your team hitting themselves, their head up against you? Because I feel, unfortunately, that you guys have been hitting your heads up against me. So first thing we've got to do is we've got to raise our lid. How do we raise our own lid? Well, a lot of people in network marketing think the way to raise the lid is to start training everybody else. Okay. So when people are stuck and they're ready to go to the next level, and they have a team and they're leaders, they actually start with everybody else. They'll go do webinars and they'll start doing more presentations and telling more people to plug into them. And they'll start making themselves available for more appointments, more wow parties, more 5 and 5s. And then they will make more calls and they'll spend time just banging the phones, talking to people that were already there that they hadn't talked to before. I've done this. And they'll start reaching out. And they'll start reaching below other leaders. And they'll start reaching under. And they will start talking and redoing old conversations with people. Because now they are stuck because everybody else is stuck. And they know the only way we can move is for people to move. So they work on moving people. Let me tell you what I have decided to do. Before I try to move anybody else, I'm going to move me first. Because if I'm the lid and I don't move, just because I start trying to move you around, I'm still the lid. Still the lid. And that means no matter what you do, there's only so much you're going to be able to get done because I'm still your lid. So let me tell you, if you're stuck, you are the lid. Doing all this stuff to get other people working, I got an idea. Why don't you work? That's what I said to myself. Why don't you just go to work, Tiffany? Instead of calling other people and setting up a game plan and a strategy and a map for them to get going, why don't you do that for you? Why don't you get into massive action first? Because people do what you do, not what you say. And that's why so many people with a team, whether it's a team of 25 or 2,500 or 25,000, that's why so many leaders stay frustrated when they're stuck and they're trying to get some things going and nothing happens. It's because they're starting with everyone else and they're not starting with themselves. So how about this? We challenge ourselves to move first. We're going to move first. We are going to do this thing first. So instead of calling through to the team, instead of calling everybody else and saying, hey, how many people are you going to recruit this month? How many open line points are you going to get by the end of the month? Instead of doing all that, how about we just write down those questions and answer them ourselves? How many people am I going to recruit by the end of the month? How many open line points am I going to get by the end of the month? How many customers am I going to get by the end of the month? How many people am I going to put mud on by the end of the month? How about we answer those questions for ourselves? And don't make a call to anybody else, because people do what you do, not what you say. So if you start doing it, I'm going to tell you how you can make your team move. Let me tell you what you can do to make your team move, because this is what I've done. And I've noticed it. It's changed already. When the leader starts moving, guess who else starts moving? Everybody else. The leader could not tell anyone anything. The leader could say nothing to their team. They could just not call a big conference call, not do a webinar saying, hey guys, this is what we're going to do. The leader could actually do nothing but start on themselves. The leader could just start with them. Just quietly make their own goals. I am going to put mud on this many people from now to the end of the month. I am going to recruit this many people with this many packages. I am going to get this many points. I am going to get this many customers and get this much E4 credit. That's what the leader could do. And when the leader does that, okay, when the leader does that, guess what happens? Other people start moving. And the leader hasn't even said anything. You know why? Because the leader has shifted the atmosphere of their organization. The leader has moved, okay? And when the leader moves, people are watching the leader. Everybody now starts moving. When the leader says, oh, sorry, I can't talk right now. Can we talk a little later tonight? Because I've got to go to this appointment, and then I've got 2 wild parties later, and I'll catch you after that. That's all the leader has to do. Have stuff on their own calendar. And then what? Guess what happens? When that agent who's used to being able to catch you anytime, day or night, and spend 2 hours on the phone talking about everything that's wrong, when you say, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go. When the leader hangs up and the leader is off to work, guess what that agent is doing? Either I got to get working or I'm going to get left behind. And then people do what you do, not what you say. And if my leadership has an appointment and 2 wild parties, you know what? I should do the same, because I don't want to get left behind from my leader. And that's what I suggest everyone does. If you're stuck, start with you. You know, in the middle of stuck, let me show y'all something that I just came up with. And I'm going to show y'all, this is going to be so good. Hold on one second. When people are stuck, in the middle of stuck, there is, look at that, y'all. In the middle of stuck, there is you. You are in the middle of stuck. So if you want to get unstuck, move you. If you move, stuck gets moved. So I did that to myself. I did that to myself. To unstick me, to get out of my rut, I moved me. I suggest you move you. So this is the thing. And here's why I'm saying this, because this is a wrong time to be stuck. This is not a good moment to be stuck. This is a bad time to be like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. Things aren't working, because we are going into the most powerful part of the year for us as secret agents, because we're going into holiday season. Now, most network marketing companies go to sleep, bye-bye, for the holidays. Like, they put up a sign that says, close for the holidays, we'll be back in January. But not us, not secret agents. We don't have to do that, because we have products people really like. We have products people really like to share, and we have products that work. So people actually give them away and are proud to put them under the tree. They're proud to put a bow on it. They are happy to give that to someone because, number one, they know it works, so that person won't throw it away. Number two, they know the person's going to love it. And number three, they know the person is going to be proud from it, so it makes them to give it as a gift. So this is incredibly important. We're going into the holiday season. We're going into the final quarter of the year. This is where you turn everything around for 2016. See, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just get working in 2016 and I'll make it a good year. No, you get working in 2016 in 2015. And this is the perfect time to do it. So we're coming into the holidays, and it is time for you to get, you've got to move you. So let's start with your goals. And over the next 2 weeks, how many people are you going to put mud on? I would say just be crazy. Why don't you do 20 to 25 people and like to practice on you? Let them know that you have something good for them, something they should see. Now, what they do with it is on them, but it really may help them out in their situation, because that is the truth. The next thing you need to do is, how many people are you going to recruit? If you have anybody on your team, I don't care if you have just one other person on your team, you don't go to that person and ask them their goal until you've asked you yourself your own goal. Don't do no call. Don't do no webinar. Don't do no coaching sessions or mastermind groups and lead other people in goal setting when you don't even have your own goals. And then don't ask them to do anything that you won't do yourself. So this is extremely important to get unstuck. You got to move you. And you want to do it now. Because what we do right now is we steal market share. This is where we steal market share. And this is why I was so proud to be at the GoPro event. So I'm watching, excuse me, guys, my eye waters, I don't know why. So I'm watching all these people and all these companies at the GoPro event. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. I'm like, what do they have on us? What do these other leaders, companies, income earners, whatever, what do they have on us? Secret agents, what do they have on us? Well, none of them have products better than ours. Like, none of them. There were hundreds of companies represented from all over the world. Nobody has products as good as ours. They may have high quality products, right? They may have good ingredients in their products, but nobody out of 8,000 people in there in many countries and hundreds of companies has products like nobody. Nobody has products that smell good as ours. Nobody has products that work and give immediate results and lasting results like ours. Nobody has a unique story like ours. Our story of just the dead seed. You don't know it in all of our profession. Nobody has a story of people who were in retail and didn't respect network marketing, but was introduced by a young 19-year-old who realized the merit and the power of network marketing and then turned their back on their retail business of 1.4 billion and have gone whole hog into the space of professional network marketing. Nobody in that whole room has our story. They have contrived, lied about, they have contrived stories that aren't true. They have low quality products. They have products that don't really work. And if they do, it takes 90 days. They have CEOs that don't care about anyone. They've owned multiple companies. And this is just how they keep flipping and spinning companies to make themselves gazillions of dollars. Nobody has a unique story. Nobody has secret, but we do. So I sat there, and I've always been proud of Secret, but I sat there and I became even more proud, and you should be too. I became even more excited, like, oh my goodness, we've got the real deal. Then I looked at nobody has leadership like we do. Now, there were some CEOs sitting in the GoPro event. There were CEOs of companies there. And I looked at them, and they weren't friendly with their distributors. They weren't attractive like our CEO. They weren't taking notes and sitting through and congratulating their leaders on speaking on stage. And they weren't leading their company to not get shut down by the FTC like our company, like our CEO is. They have CEOs that are all flash and hype and razzmatazz, and our CEO is just humbly walks among the people, has a heart for each and every one of us, and lives and breathes every moment of every day to give us the company that will truly be a legacy and allow us to leave a legacy for our family for generations to come. Nobody, as I was sitting in there, had a CEO as good as ours. Then I'm sitting up there and I'm watching all these trainers, okay? I watched everybody. And I'm taking notes on them. And I have a lot of notes on some people, but let me show you what I got on others. Okay, because I'm just going to be real on what we have to do and how we have to get working. Okay, so this is what I got from one group of people. This is something else that I got from another group of people. And I was paying attention, y'all. I just want y'all to know this. This is what I got from somebody else. And these people are making gazillions of dollars. Like, one man up there is making $10 million a year. And I got zero from him. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, so nobody has our products. Nobody. Nobody has our CEO. Nobody has our leadership, because our leadership in Secret, our agents, and we've got a deep bench. I don't just mean seven-figure earners in the cabinet. I'm talking all the way down to diamonds and platinums and beyond. None of them. No, I mean, the people who are at the top of these other companies can't hold a candle to the training and the integrity and the character and the leadership of the people in Secret. None of them. So I'm sitting up there looking at them. I'm like, I got 6 people on my team that's better than this dude, and they don't even make 7 figures yet. I've got this many people who are better than this. I'm like, oh, and why do they even let this person up there? And I'm sitting up there like, we have got the most talented trainers, presenters, speakers, but then leadership, because they have character, they have charisma, they have integrity, and they have passion and heart. So we have better leadership, better trainers, better presenters, better thinkers. We have better products, better CEO, better trainers, leaders, and presenters. And then I was like, and then our comp plan. We've got a better comp plan. I talk to people and they're asking me questions about how to build their business, right? how to build their business. And then they're talking about their comp plan, and they're talking about how much money that they make. And they're like, so we need to help people make this much money. Can you help me with the plan to do that? And I'm listening to them. I'm like, our comp plan is better. There are people who are doing so much volume and not making anything. We have a better comp plan, and we have a comp plan that's based on integrity, because something else, and I don't, just so you guys know, Eric Worre had to get up there and tell people to get customers. He had to actually tell them the FTC is shutting us down, shutting companies down, because they don't understand that a distributor that's in the business is a customer. So everyone, here's your challenge. Go get 10 customers. And I was sitting back there like this. What? You got to tell people in network marketing to get customers? We have the best comp plan for people who get customers. And we have people who get customers who get recruits, because everyone can get customers. And we make tons of money off of customers, and we get paid the next day off of customers. And the whole profession is trying to figure out how to take care of customers. And we have the best customer program in the world. So we have better products. We have a better CEO. We have better trainers, leaders, presenters. We have a better customer program. We have a better compensation plan. We have best timing. And I was just sitting up there like, Secret is the best. And I'm not just saying this because I'm in Secret. I'm saying I compared everybody, and y'all know I'm very objective. I will be straight up. Then I have people who don't even know how to get folks started. And then I said, and then we've just refined our system. We've always gotten people making money, but we've refined our system that it's even easier, not just to do, but even easier to teach. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, like for real, we have the best company in network marketing, like the absolute best, for real. I'm meeting people, I know these people, I talk to these people, they're my friends, and I'm listening to them. Oh, and let me just tell you about this one real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So I have a very good friend in the profession of network marketing. I would say she's like one of my best friends in network marketing, not like Secret, but my best friend in network marketing. Because we're not in the same company, but I still love being around her. And I spent the whole time we were in GoPro, pretty much spent most of my time with her. And she's just lovely, just absolutely wonderful. But she's in a crap company. And it was so funny that Jesse McPherson and Patty McPherson and we were out to dinner. And then she joined us later to hang out. And I don't know, we were all talking, and she was talking about something about her company's parties. And she was like, oh, company's parties, they're just so unfun. Like the GoPro party, some people didn't think it was really fun. And she was talking about that. And she was like, yeah, it's just like our company's parties. They aren't fun. You know, they aren't really all that much fun. And then she was like, oh, don't you guys, and then she said to the three of us, to me, Jesse and Patty, don't you guys just hate going to your company's parties? And we were like, no. She was like, I mean, you know, when your CEO throws a party and, you know, it's just so boring. So you just go because you have to show your face. And we were like, no, we don't go to show face. We go because we love to go to the parties. And she was like, your parties are fun? And we were like, our parties are fun. Like every party we have in Secret is fun. And then I felt bad after I thought about it. We started thinking about our parties. We were like the white party. Remember they put us all in white and the glow sticks? Oh, that was awesome. And then, you know, remember when Isaac had his party and he did this? And then remember when he extended the party? The party was supposed to be 4 hours, but he saw everyone was having so much fun. He extended it another hour. And then you remembered, oh, and then Jesse and Patty said, and Tiffany, your masquerade party. Remember when you did your masquerade party and everybody wore masks? And we were like, everybody got into it. And then she was just sitting there looking at us like this. And then it was like, we looked at her and we were like, no, we like going to our parties, but I wanted to say, oh, I'm so sorry that your company's not fun. I'm so sorry that your CEO is a stick in the mud. I'm so sorry that the people, the leaders are not relevant in your company. I'm sorry that your profession, your company that you've dedicated years of your life to and hours a week, you don't have a good time because that's not Secret. So then on top of that, we have the most fun. So let me just tell y'all this. Take it from me. And I know a lot of y'all trust me and I know you love me. So listen to me. We have the best. And I know that there's this thing out there when you are in a situation, when you are, and you start thinking, well, if I was over here, if I was over there, well, they're paying people for this, or they have this, or they did this video and this. And I know it's so easy to look outside and the grass is always greener, but I have been all over. I know everybody from all over. I also know other people who are all over. And let me tell you something. Everybody outside of Secret is watching Secret. Everybody outside of Secret is trying to become Secret. Everybody is trying to do what Secret is doing. And you know what we've got to do? We've got to get off our butts. No pun intended, but we have to get off our butts and get to work, because we have the best everything. Best comp plan, check. Best CEO, check. Best culture and community. These folks don't even have culture and community. Look, there's one company, they have 7-figure earners who were at the GoPro event, and they all speak. One company, and all these people don't even speak to each other. They walk past each other, and they're in parallel universes. They're in the same company, but they're not in a community. They don't like each other. They don't speak to each other. They talk to other distributors outside of their company about other distributors in their company. They have no community. They don't know what it's like to be at home in a company. So we've got the best CEO, the best comp plan, the best products, the best story, the best I said that already, the best culture and community. We have the best everything. It is time for us to go work it, because here's what's happening. All these other people, they're proud, and they want to beat Secret. And so they know the only way they can beat us, because their products are crap. Their CEO doesn't give a crap. They don't have good community. Their comp plan is lacking. The only way they can beat us is to outwork us. And they are outworking us. Because see, we all just reveling. We're like kids who grow up with a Rolls Royce in the garage, and we don't know that other people have it worse. And we are getting beat by the scrappy kid who doesn't have nice clothes, who lives in an apartment with all the members of their family, and they're thinking, one day I'm going to be like the rich kid. And you know who the rich kid is? We are. And don't say, well, I'm not rich. That's easy for you to say. You are rich because you have everything in place that you need to get everything you want. And if at this point, guys, with everything Secret has done, if we don't get it, it's on us. So I told you that you're the best and you're part of the best. So you understand that the other thing these other companies don't have is a holiday season. And if they do have some little stuff they can sell through the holidays, they don't get paid nothing off of it. So they don't even like to sell. So most companies are checking out in about a month. They're going to check out, and they're going to be gone until January 1. But not us, because it's, once again, another thing that we have that others don't. They don't have a holiday season. They don't have a special sales situation. They don't have anything. And they're just scrambling and running and running and running because they know they don't have the best. Now it's time for us, for our CEO, for the Ben Shabbat family, for the Secret community and culture that we've already built that needs to go even bigger. Let's get to work. Let us be the one that's running and running, because we're the best. Because when you're the best and you run, it's easier, it's faster, and it's a lot more fun. So I'm asking you guys to realize what you have and get to work. If you don't want to be, unstick yourself. How many people are you going to put mud on by the end of this month? That's all I want you to focus on by the end of this month. What rank are you going to hit by the end of this month? How many people are you going to get started by the end of this month? How many customers are you going to get by the end of this month? How many people are you going to get registered for Accelerate by the end of this month? This is what I need you guys to do. I need you to understand now is the time to move. Not a week from now, not a month from now, definitely not into next year. Now is the time that we steal market share. Now is the time that we prove all those other network marketing companies right. When they think we've got it, we show them we've got it. When they're worried we're number one, we show them we're number one, because we are the best company out there in every way. But the only way that really matters is that the distributors believe it and they act on it and they do the work to prove that it's true. So with that, I can't stay here longer because I'm in Australia and I'm working to prove that we're the best. And I hope you guys will join me. I hope you do your personal best this week and the rest of this month so you can go into the holiday season equipped, prepared, and ready to have your best season ever and make it possible for you to have your best 2016 ever, your best year ever, because that's what's about to happen. So with that, guys, I hope this was helpful. Next week, we want some testimonials. Can you please inbox me at Tiffany Malott and tell me about people who have hit ranks in your company? I mean, excuse me, in your organization. I don't care if it's superstar to Ruby or higher. I want to hear about people who've gotten E4 credit. I know there's some people I need to give some congratulations to. There's some I know about. I got a text, but I want you to tell me about them. Give me some product testimonials, because this wasn't supposed to be the John and Tiffany Malott show and a few people who fill in when we're not available. This is our show together. But I am in Australia. I'm having a hard time, with communication. And if y'all don't communicate with me, I don't know. So if you put mud on some people and you got some customers, you got an agent, you got someone to superstar, you got to superstar yourself, inbox me, because we have core values. And this is why we're the best. We have core values and all these other companies don't. And our 10th core value is to operate in a spirit of celebration, victory, and celebration. And we want to celebrate your successes. We want to recognize you, because the stories sell, not the facts. And if we have a lot of stories, we'll create some bigger stories. So no story is too small. Inbox me now. I don't care if it's a week old, a month old. I've been out of the loop. Inbox me now. Don't say, oh, they just went star. I want to hear about a star. Don't say, well, she just got 6 customers. I want to hear about 6 customers, because if we celebrate the little wins, the big wins are on the way. So with that, I'm going to go. And I look forward to hearing from you guys next week. I look forward to hearing from you this week so I can plan my testimonials for next week. And I look forward to us having a prosperous week and a great October. So thank you for being on. Have a great week, and I'll see you at the top.